Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Creative Connect. I'm Kopanela Khwati, and today, I must say, is a very, very nerve-wracking day. I'm joined by an actress who has inspired me with many of her roles, but one in particular, to the point where I started to dream that one day she might be my future mum on screen. So today I am joined by the incomparable Nambitha Mpumlwana.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for doing this.
I'm so grateful that I made it.
I'm grateful that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. So we're going to dive straight into it without wasting time.
Hit me.
Right. What drew you to the life of being a performer?
I didn't really seek it. I think I happened upon it. I grew up in a family that sang. I grew up in a family that enjoyed theater, and it was a very artistic family. As much as it was a very Christian family, everything is sung.
Yes.
Everything, and even my now household, everything is sung.
Music.
So yeah, a lot of that. So I remember I was about 4 years old when I saw my first play. And from that moment on, I think I was sold. I didn't really recognize it for what it was. I just knew that what I saw on stage and the effect it had on the audience,
Yes.
I wanted
To achieve that.
to achieve that.
Oh.
Yes. So it wasn't, I want to be an actor, I want to be on stage. No, it was literally the communication from one soul to another. And at that level, at that guttural and primal level, I zoned in on that, and I recognized that at the age of 4. Can you imagine? And in my heart, I said, I want that.
Yes.
I want that for myself. But I didn't quite articulate it until I had finished my grade 12, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go study theater. And even then, I still, studied psychology, even though I was like, okay, I want to study theater, but I still studied psychology. I still did computer programming. So I did all of those other things that, straight people do.
So what inspired the decision to not study drama?
What do you mean? I never stopped.
So you said that you went into psychology.
I did at the same time. I was still doing theater.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'm sorry I wasn't clear.
Oh, no.
So I never stopped. I
Okay.
always had it as
Going
a part of my life. I mean, at age of like 12, I remember in secondary school that I remember this one concert at my school in Nzolicha, and they had gone to watch the concert, and somehow one of the talents didn't show, or whatever had happened, and somebody pointed at me and said, I must come and sing because they know that I sing. And I'm like,
You know what?
I'm not going to do that. At some point, I found myself standing on stage, and I'm like, oh, well, let's sing. And I did. And
Can you remember what song you sang?
yes, I do. I'm not going to sing it now. And then I remember at some point, I noticed that the audience was silent. Can you imagine, like, secondary school kids
Yes.
being that still
Yes.
and that silent, listening to me
Paying
singing, like
attention.
paying attention? I had them, and as soon as I noticed that they were watching me and I was watching them watching me, I forgot the song.
Oh.
In the middle of the song.
Did they laugh or what happened?
No, I think they were mesmerized, and then they didn't know if the song was over or not.
Or not?
And then I just said thank you, and I went and sat down.
And then they just applauded.
They did.
And what's the earliest memory of you acting on stage?
We used to do drum majorettes when we were kids in King Williamstown. I sang on stage. The funny thing is, so here I am in Canada, I'm doing my high school. And of course, every high school has school plays, right?
Yes.
So, but you must audition to get into the school play. So I would audition, and I would not get the part. Any part. And then they would need trees or something.
I think a lot of people have that story. Yes.
I would be like the third tree from the back, because there's like this African kid. Now just put it in the back, And so I I was basically told on a regular basis how terrible I was. As I went to university and studying psychology and studying acting, I was still not getting into the plays.
Well, I bet all those people who said no are regretting their choices now.
I wanted Dora at the Young People's Theatre,
Yeah.
and so they were like, oh.
Wow.
So I was vindicated even before I came back to South Africa.
And then, how did Screen find you?
I've always had screen. I did theater, but I mean I did movies in Canada. I did some indies as well. Like, you know, within the artist community, we always support each other. So before I came here, I didn't really do any big movies, but I definitely was working on screen already. Theater was always my goal. TV was never the goal. Film was never the theater was always the goal, and I was fulfilling that, and I was therefore, you know, satisfied. I was sated. I was content. This is what I've always wanted to do, and I was doing that. And then I came here in South Africa, and I remember my agent Muneen. I said, "Well, I'm a theater actor. I'm a dramatic actor. Yes, I've done film. I've done television, and so I'm ready." And she said, and I showed her my resume, which is like 2 arms long. And then she looked at it and said, you're going to need to get on television. Then she gave me an audition for continuity. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And she told me that if I want to be cast in South African productions, I need to be seen on television in whatever capacity so that my face can be familiar. Yeah.
And
so that's how I ended up being a continuity presenter on SBC3.
Yes. And do you think that's what Munyin Lee said to you is true, that to build familiarity?
I absolutely needed to do that. Yeah, absolutely. And it didn't matter how much I had done previously. Once I was recognizable, then I could show my resume and say, listen, this is not the beginning of my career. This is what I've done. And also I remember going to Christa's for the first time, and on the front is my picture, and on the back, on the back is my CV, and the page was full.
Yes.
And she's looking at this, and it's not double spaced, and she goes, "Ma, you've been a busy girl."
Yes.
I'm like,
yes, we have to.
And I was like, yeah, kind of. And she says, when did you get in the country? I'm like, last year. So you've been busy overseas. I'm like, yeah.
All right. And then from all the roles you've played, which role, this is on-screen roles now, which role has been the closest to who you are in real life?
Each role is taken from me. And then I build a character outside of that with habits and mannerisms that are outside of me. And then I would learn those mannerisms, and then that's the character. So each one of them is close to me in that they are rooted in me and then taken out. Yes. But one role that absolutely resonates with me, and it wasn't in film or television, funny enough, it was in theater, on stage, where I played Harriet Tubman. And part of the reason why it resonated so well with me is because she was born a slave. I was born under apartheid. She, at the age of, I think about 12 or 13, ran away and wasn't caught. At the age of 13, I went into exile. Then she decided that now that she's found freedom, she's going to go back and help her family, her mother, her father, her uncles, and she got them out safely to freedom. As person born into slavery who craved freedom. And that role for me resonated on so many different levels. So playing Harriet Tubman taught me a lot about myself as well. Helped me to acknowledge and respect parts of myself that I took for granted before. So that for me, was, and fortunately it was very early in my career. One of the other roles that I would say experiences that were very helpful in my career and also to me as a person was that I worked with Theatre in the Rough, and there I learned multicultural training for teachers and for students, and and anti-racism workshops. I used to run anti-racism workshops, and of course I learned so many skills in there that I use now when I teach artists, when I teach actors, especially for voice training. I use a lot of those skills.
So are you an acting coach as well?
I am.
Oh, I did not know that.
Now you do.
Now I do. Even with the singing, I had no idea. So now
It's all right.
I know.
Hidden gems, right?
Yes. Which styles of acting do you think you're most suited for? So I think now you can speak to your perspective as an actress and an acting coach.
I don't think any actor would be able to answer that question. Because when you go to school for this, you learn how to do everything. If you say, oh no, I can't do comedy, it's like, why not? There is always, as an actor, you learn how to do just about everything. And you go into the character. The character is not a comedian. The character is a human being that lives their life. It just happens that you find them in funny circumstances, hence the comedy. That's always written in. It doesn't mean that you have to go around flailing yourself and trying to be funny to people. It's written, it's part of it. It's a whole human being that's just walking around living their life. Except they keep tripping everywhere, which makes everybody else laugh. Yeah. That's something else, you understand? Yeah. So as an actor, you are taught to imbue a character, to imbue this person. So you can't say, I only act oros. I don't act champagne.
You have to be able to you have to be versatile. Yeah. Versatility. Alrighty. And what do you think makes all your performances believable and memorable?
That's for a viewer to answer that. It's not for me, because I've never said I'm memorable. I've never said I'm watchable. I just do my job, and I do my job to the best of my ability. Yeah. I've got incredible high standards for myself, and as a result, for the people that I work with. I'm very uncompromising when it comes to production value, because, well, that's my face out there. And if you're not going to get up in the morning and do your best, why are you here? And so that's my mantra, that's my motto, that's how I try to live my life. I'm not always as successful as I'd like to be at that, but that is something I'm always striving for. Not perfection, the best of me. Yeah. And there's a very big difference in that. Yes. If I was striving for perfection, I would fail every day, and then I'd be very unhappy with myself. Yes. But if I'm striving for the best of me in any given moment and every given moment, then I'm happy. I'm happy with myself.
As a viewer, I think I would try to
answer. You answer that.
For me is, you can apply to almost every actor, but with you, I don't know what the word for it is, but when I grew up watching you on screen,
yes,
seeing you doing what you did and doing it so well, the vulnerability of your performances made me want to do it. So I would say your ability to inspire is
I
what...
like it.
Oh, because the face...
I like it. I know, I'm thinking. It's my thinking face. Apparently, I've got an ugly thinking face. I've been told.
So from all the roles that I think my earliest memory of seeing you on TV was Siavdalon.
Oh, I loved Zandile.
Yes.
Can I tell you about Zandile? So Zandile was a mean old fart. She was like really, really mean. And she was mean to people, to vulnerable people.
Yes.
And so obviously, the nation hated her, but loved her. I literally, at some shopping mall, I was at a Woolies or something, or game, I'm not sure. Yeah. And this man walks up to me and he goes, Zandile, wow. And I'm like, oh. And he says, I love you so much. I named my horse after you.
Wow.
And I'm like, you named an animal? Then I absorbed it, and I was like, oh, that's something that's important to you. Yes. I said, thank you.
Yes.
But then old people used to run away from me.
Oh, when they saw you. I was like, oh, here she's coming. Let's run away. And how would you react to that?
I was at Clicks, and I know I shared this with my family. I was at Clicks. And I've got the habit when I'm shopping is to go from one aisle to the next. No matter, even if I just come for one thing, there'll be like something that as I'm walking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I needed this and I didn't put it in. I literally will go, you do that too?
Yes.
I've been called anal retentive, and I accept that because I really am. So aisle by aisle by aisle. So now apparently there's this old woman on a Zyma frame. You know what the Zyma frame is? It's like that thing you stop and then you push and you
Okay,
stop.
yes.
Yeah. So I notice her at like about 3 aisles, like in the second aisle, and I see her and she goes to the next aisle, and I'm busy with what I'm doing, and I go to the next aisle. There she is again, and, with a Zyma frame, and then she goes to the next aisle, and like I'm, looking through the shelves and taking my time. And when I get to the next aisle, she turns around, she goes, "Zandile lost my antisyphilis."
Oh, Danny.
I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Stop following me.
Yeah. And then, did people's behaviors change after you left Zandile behind? Or
I was
you
always
still
busy
got
with
it?
something else. I was always busy with something else. When Seven Delan was written by Daniel Odendahl, she actually wrote a character in it for me. But at the same time that they were starting to shoot Seven Delan, I got beyond borders and I went to Namibia for 8 weeks.
Okay, yes.
So I couldn't meet their schedule, so they got somebody else to do my character. Yes. But because Danny wanted to work with me still, then he created Zandile, and I was coming in and out in between other projects.
Yeah.
So I never quite stayed. I just like in and out for years. I would just come in and out, which was fun. But let me tell you, the fun thing about playing Zandile is that, when you're going through your day at work, you encounter so many challenges. You encounter so many things that interrupt your spirit. Playing Zandile allowed me to be mean and to let out the aggression and
The pent up energy.
all of that.
Yeah.
I would come home and I'm at peace because I took everything out on set.
Yes.
And so anybody who felt hurt by Zandile, thank you for receiving it, because some of that was mine. Some of that was mine.
Yeah. So have you ever regretted pursuing this career? Any regrets? Never. What do you?
I never did. I never made the decision to be an actor. I really never did. Even when I went professional, I was still doing different things. I still wrote poetry. I still sang. It's what we call in the business as a triple act. And I danced still. I used to choreograph for a step dancing group.
Okay.
And so all those different parts of me were always being serviced. So there was never a time where, I don't know why I'm doing this. I've never had that.
Yes.
It's been challenging at times. It's been really, really tough at times. But I remember my dad came to Canada and he wanted to know why I decided to do this, why you want to play for a living. And in fact, it was a time when I was playing Harriet Tubman. At the time, I was doing a school tour. It was a 6-month booking. I was doing 2 plays, 3 shows a day, every day, Monday to Friday, 3 shows. So of the 2 plays, one of them was Harriet Tubman, the other one was about a bee. It was for younger kids. So I could be doing 2 of the Harriet Tubman or 2 of the other, but always it was 3 shows a day. Yeah, every day, Monday to Friday.
Exhausting on your body.
I was in an amazing shape, I'll tell you that. Diva was on point.
Wow.
I was on point. Yeah. I sang, I danced, I acted, and I was having an amazing time. I was exhausted, you're right. But that's also the time that I realized so much of myself. And that's also the year I started my locks, 1990.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. So my dad came and he had been asked to come and tell me to stop this foolishness. And when he saw me playing Harriet Tubman, he just said, Qhubeka.
This is for you.
Do what you do.
You were born to do this.
And as a result, whenever I faltered in my career or, you go through dry patches and I've got a child to raise, etc., I could call on him and say, I need help. And he goes, all right, what kind of help do you need? And how soon do you need it? I never had a moment where my family turned and said, yeah, bufuna udlala wena. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. My sister Uzinhle, she's 2 years older than me. Our mothers are sisters, and she's my sister that way. She would, okay, all right, what's needed now. And so my entire family
Really supported you.
rallied around me, and I had that to to
Anchor you.
fall back on. And even when I just was be like, I don't know what else to do, I've tried this, I've tried that, and they'll be like, okay, well, come home for a bit.
Yes.
And I'd go home, and before you know it, the phone's ringing. Yo, Nambitha, oh, where are you? We need you for this. We need you. I literally paid my bond with voiceover work, because I'm doing voiceover here, and I'm doing a film there, I'm doing TV show there. It's always something that you're busy with.
But that's the reality of an actor. You have to do as many as possible.
You cannot have a single stream of revenue.
Yeah.
It's just suicidal.
Yeah, because actors don't get paid. But we'll get into that.
We don't get paid now.
We will get into that.
Hence,
SAGA. Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break from the questions to
Okay.
play our first game, fill in the blanks. So I'm going to say something, this, blank, and then you must continue or finish the sentence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I going to get in trouble?
No.
All
They're
right.
all fun. They're all fun.
All right.
My friends think that I'm weird because I eat blank and blank together.
I eat garlic a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Can I tell you mine?
Yes, tell me yours.
Please don't judge.
I will.
Don't judge me. Boiled eggs and peanut butter.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you. People are always like,
No,
"Oh,
I bet
no."
you remove the yolk and put the peanut butter in the
Yes,
white,
yes,
and
yes,
make that as a salad.
yes, yes.
It makes sense.
It's
Now,
amazing.
I don't really eat eggs,
Okay.
but I get it.
You're okay.
I get it.
Okay.
Okay, so let me. No,
Nothing.
no. The thing is, everything that I do, I tell myself it's normal. So I don't think anything I do is weird.
Okay.
I'm just
That is-
completely weird. I'm
That
like
is a beautiful
all
outlook.
the way down weird. So
Yeah.
take your pick.
All right.
But garlic, I'm known for
Garlic.
I'm known
Yeah.
like I'll put garlic
on almost anything.
every plate. I will put garlic in it.
And then I recently realized that I'm too mature for what? Blank, rather.
Bikini? Look, Diva got legs, but we ain't doing no bikini business. We ain't doing that bikini business. No way, Jose.
The third one. The biggest misconception about me is blank.
People are scared of me. People are scared of me. It works for me because I'm not very outgoing as a person. So if you don't approach me, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Scared as in intimidated or like
Yeah, but
visibly
there's
scared.
people that feel intimidated by me, but it helps my introverted soul. So it means you're not going to talk to me. I will be at a party and I'll sit in the corner and enjoy whatever I'm doing there,
enjoying,
and I'm fine.
Yes.
I'm fine here. But people feel self-conscious on my behalf almost. Like, hi, are you okay there? I'm like,
Yes, I am. Very much so. Yeah.
yeah, this is great. People are out there listening to music, talking. I can hear voices in the background. I was at my friend's soiree on the Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And at some point, I just needed to walk away from everybody. Went and found a couch, like a little city like this, and I sat there.
And you just were left alone with your thoughts.
Just sit there. I can hear them. I can, some are playing pool. I can hear all of that, and I have my little glass of champagne here, and I'm okay.
And you're very happy.
I'm at a party, but I'm sitting by myself.
Okay. I
So
can resonate with that.
That's my weird. That's my weird.
Blank is the song that I'm currently obsessed with. So any song by any artist, even if it's like an old song that you just rediscovered the love.
Khulume moya oyingcele. Yeah. Or Endabeni Kude. But Sharon D kicks my soul. So when she does Endabeni Kude,
Yeah, that's the one.
that's the one. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I don't really have a favorite song. But from time to time, there'll be a song that resonates with me. For example, we travel a lot to the Eastern Cape, and so we leave at like 3 o'clock in the morning so that we can be there like midday type of situation. And every time when I'm driving out of my yard, we play this one song that is You Are Alone a God by Marvin Sapp. That song is what literally, as I'm opening my gate, I press play that song, and that is our prayer song. So then we pray in the first leg of the journey, and we pray again when we get home.
Wow. And then my favorite color is blank.
I don't have one.
You don't have a favorite color? Really?
I love purple, which is why they did
Same,
my toast purple.
Same. That's why purple.
You and I need to talk. I love purple. It's very much a diva color.
Yes.
Yeah, I really do love purple and royal blue. I do.
Oh my goodness! For my matric dance, I wore traditional attire,
Right.
And my mom asked me, "What color do you want?" I was like, "Royal blue, royal blue." My favorite colors are pink, purple, royal blue, and red. Yes.
Where did the red come from? In that spectrum, it's like I love red. I have a lot of red in my closet.
It was just one of my go-to colors when I was coloring in school. So I think the love.
You and I need to town.
We do.
We do.
We do. Okay, back to the questions.
Yes.
Part 2, longevity.
Yeah.
What do you appreciate more about yourself right now as an actor that you didn't particularly enjoy when you were starting out and establishing your career?
Something like what?
Most actors, when I watch like actors on actors or roundtable talks, they say patience. They have patience now. Back then, they were just like, when is this coming? When is this coming? So anything that, yeah.
That I didn't know when I was younger, okay.
Yeah.
Patience is a good one. When my son was younger, my motivation and my challenge to myself was to create an environment outside of our home that would be welcoming of the kind of person that I was raising in the house.
Yes.
Taught him about the world, but I wanted the world to be more open to people like us. Yeah. As a result, I challenged the status quo. As a result, I've always loved myself. I've always loved myself, and I was taught to love myself and to expect good of myself.
Yeah.
And so when things don't go right, I would be angry immediately. Not necessarily angry at you, but angry at myself for not having risen to the occasion. Do you understand? Yes. So in my attempts to change the world, at times I've been quite direct. I still am direct, but I keep quiet more often now. So my son is 27 years old. I don't have to prepare the world for him anymore. He's in it. Yes. You see? So that part of my journey, that challenge that I put on myself is now at rest. Yes. So it's not that, I learned that I shouldn't do this. It was more like, I don't need to do this anymore. Okay.
Would you say that's like, I don't want to say restraint, but just holding yourself back?
I don't really hold myself back. I learned the power of knowing.
When to?
No, just knowing.
Knowing.
I just know. You lied to me. Now I know. I don't have to discuss it. I rest in the power of knowing.
Knowledge is power.
Well, there you go. So I enjoy the power of knowing, so much so that it keeps me still. Do you see how it now starts to follow each other? There was a time when I would say, I woke up and, why are you lying to me? Now I just, so that's who Kopana is. Now I know. I will never trust anything that comes out of your mouth. If I challenge you, you're going to deny it, right? Now we've had a confrontation. I don't necessarily like or enjoy confrontations. I'm capable of it,
yes,
but I really have never enjoyed them. So now I just avoid it.
You know, my mom is very similar in that regard. She is. Okay, let's move on. The next one.
Yes.
Which one of your characters that you've played in the past would you now play in a completely different way given the experience that you have? If there is. None. Mm-mm. Is there a character? Okay, let's change the question. Is there a character which you auditioned for and you really, really wanted, but for whatever reasons you were not cast? And then when you saw the role, you were like, I'm still interested to see what I could have done with that role.
No.
No.
No. I'll give you an example, though, of a role that I have a very good friend, Ntati Mushasha. Ntati and I would find ourselves in an audition for a TV series or a film or whatever, and we're the last two on the callbacks. Now it's between she and I.
Yes.
All that, like, so many projects would be either her or myself. But would find ourselves at like Krista's waiting room sitting together. And the one thing that I learned at the beginning of my career in Canada was that I'm not competing with you. You bring what you're bringing, I'm bringing what I'm bringing. They will choose which suits them best.
Yes.
So we'd get to the waiting room and we run lines. We're both going for the same character and we run lines.
Together.
If I didn't get it, it wasn't my blessing.
Yes.
So it's not about I could have done a better job. How do I know what's a better job? Because I'm not the filmmaker.
Okay.
It's not my project. When I receive the script, then I have something that I can put into it. But until that moment, it's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So we both prepared for this movie called The Long Run. And I remember I had to, even when I was running in my youth, I was always the sprinter. I would complete the 400 meters, but it was never my thing. I don't enjoy long distance running. Even now, I would rather just walk. You will not find me going around jogging. I don't chase air.
Don't run.
I do not chase air. I'm chasing wind. No, not this Diva. So I had to go learn. I used to go to the gym to learn how to run long distance. So I'd get on the treadmill and I would run. And I would talk to people that, are running for like 20 minutes. Like, what does it feel like? And I would pace with them and learn the mindset of a long distance runner because I was preparing for the audition. And Tati, I believe, did the same thing. And so when we get there, it's the two of us. Really, it came down to, I do not look like a long distance runner. I've got them, and the Drakensberg Mountain back there. And all of that is balancing me, keeping me straight, but it's not a long distance runner look. They're more svelte, and that's what Ntati looked like. She looked more like she had the better look of a long distance runner, and it made sense. And she got the job. And I was like, "You girl, well done.
Do your best."
Yeah. No, I knew she would she's like me. She would kick it. I knew she would kick it.
Yes.
So there wasn't anything like, I could have done that better. I was no. I wished her well.
Yeah. To lift each other up, basically.
Yeah.
Do you think that's one lesson young actors need to learn?
I think that when I speak to young people, especially at tertiary, I tell them that there is no competition. You're only competing against yourself. Once you've done your best, you walk away, you leave that audition, you leave everything, every bit of knowledge about that audition before you leave that room, and you go home in peace. Whether they call you or not is not about you.
What would you say to a young actor who puts themselves down when they're after an audition? I'll take myself as an example. So I recently signed with an agent after a while of looking for an agent.
Good luck. Well done. And now you're going to join SAGA?
Yes. We're getting to SAGA, yeah. And so I auditioned for a particular ad, and there were hundreds of people there. Like,
we call that a cattle call.
When I say that, I thought to myself, oh no. No. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I was like, no, they've probably found the person who they were looking for at 8:00 in the morning, not me who came now at 2:00.
The trick, when they're seeing a lot of people, I learned this from my first agent, you're either the first one or the last one. Don't come in the middle.
Yeah.
Not when they're irritated.
Yes.
Not when they're hungry for lunch. Not when they've seen 10 of you and they're like, not another one. But if you're the last one, they're like, oh, right, it's the last one. We get to go home shortly.
Yeah.
Again, the spirits are lifted.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So the next time you find yourself in a long lineup for auditions, go home.
Yeah.
Go and take a break. You know, if they're auditioning from 8 o'clock till 5, you show up there at 4:30.
You do your thing.
And you wait. People will be like, no, do you mind if I go? I've got this, then. No, go ahead. Go. It's fine. I'll wait.
That's a very helpful trick. Thank you.
You do not want to be in the middle. You're the last one or the second last.
Okay.
The second last will make them hate the last person if that's you, because they've found what they're looking for.
Okay. I've got it. At which point of your career were you able to decide which roles were suited for you and which didn't? But I think you've answered this one really with the
I
earlier
can
question.
do any role. Oh, yes. But I remember I complained to my agent. I'm like, I'm playing too many snobs and zhuzh people. Moon, I'm an actor. And she goes, yeah, I know that. I was like, let me play a housekeeper. Let me play a maid. Let me play a homeless. She goes, nah, I ain't doing that. No. And she refused. She refused to even put me up for anything similar to that. I was like, but. She goes, no.
Yeah.
And she built my brand in a specific way. And I do understand that even if I were to be the, housekeeper, it would end up being like, apparently this is my long lost child that I'm house sitting for. And now I'm promoted to the matriarch.
Yeah.
Somehow I would seem to need to end up being the matriarch. So it doesn't.
Why do you think that's a quality that people see in you and then they go with that?
I think it's the diva. I think they recognize. I was raised by a diva, and I was raised in a family of divas. It's not something that I put on. I came by it this honestly. So when people only see the diva, there's nothing I can do about it. She's here. She is around me. She's everywhere.
Can we talk about the diva? Because I've heard it, but I'm like, what is a diva? Because a diva can be so many things. A diva could be someone who, oh my goodness, I want my lunch at 12 o'clock precisely.
Why not?
Oh.
What's wrong with the time that I've requested? Are you making it 12:30 for a specific reason?
Let's say the production lunch is at 1 o'clock.
Okay, then I'll adjust.
Okay.
So if I ask for 12 o'clock and you say, no, Nambitha, lunch is only prepared at 1 o'clock, I'm like, okay, thanks.
Okay. So your definition of a diva is someone who knows what they want and they're not afraid to voice it.
Exactly.
And you don't care even if people misconstrue you for being the quote unquote difficult to work with.
That says more about you than I. I've been called that so many times.
Yes.
And I've never been called that by somebody who's more successful. I've never been called that by somebody who has higher standards than me. I've always been called that by people who don't want to do their job.
Yes.
I remember being on the set of Generations, and one of the things that you must understand is that what you do as an actor on the rehearsal, in the rehearsal, that's what you're going to do on the take.
Yes.
So and I'm using this glass as an example, the glass is empty right now, but the director wants me to take a sip at a certain point. He wants to see this glass move. Okay, no problem. I may not have an impetus or reason to sip, but yes, I will find a moment to sip. And then I get here and the glass is dirty. Why is this glass dirty? And they'll say, no, don't worry, we'll clean it for you for the take. Here's the problem. The glass is dirty. First of all, I'm uncomfortable by touching it. And I'm in the rehearsal and I'm like...
And that affects your job now.
That affects the performance on the take. Because you did not do your job of cleaning this glass. The whole production value has now been compromised. So that I'm not part of compromising the production value, I'm going to tell you, why don't you clean it now? I'd prefer it if you'd clean the glass now, please. Then I can do my job. Looks like you haven't finished your job, so I'll wait for you.
That's powerful.
I'm not fighting with you.
And can I ask, have you always had this, I don't want to say attitude, that's the wrong word, this state of mind that I will address something when it
I was
needs to be
raised like
addressed?
that. I mean, I was raised in my family. When you get into trouble, it wasn't a yelling session, it was a meeting. State your position. Why did you go to Khadi's place and take peaches from her tree without asking her? Hi, besidlala, we're playing, and then but there are peaches here at home. Why did you have to go to that house to get peaches if you just wanted peaches? There are peaches in your home.
Yeah.
Why did you have to go there and take peaches without permission from somebody you don't know when you could have, when you are permitted to take peaches here? What is it about theft that excites you so much? Tell me, please. And my grandfather would sit and wait for an answer.
And then
Me be like, no, I forgive you.
Yeah.
I really do. I forgive you. I just need to understand why you thought that was a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And so in my family, it was always, we'll have this conversation. Now that might turn into a leather conversation, a few minutes later. But for now, it is just a verbal, And then he'll say, okay. And now at this point, I'm begging for forgiveness, and he'll say, no, I forgive you. I forgive you. Could you go to the peach tree of our house now and get me a stick that is strong enough to take care of the problem that you and I are having? And it'd be like, that at least, I forgive you and I love you. But we have this issue that needs to be dealt with. So go to that tree and find a stick that is strong enough to handle the problem that we have experienced. Do you understand, Dogmana? I learned to speak my mind. I needed to, because if you just say, then that would be the reason for punishment before they punish me for the theft.
Yes.
I'm being punished for not being articulate.
Yeah.
You know language. Why aren't you talking? Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So I've always had that. I've always been, I was taught very young, articulate yourself, express yourself. Now, unfortunately, in this world, and especially in this country, contradictory opinions are taken as offensive. So just because I don't agree with you, now I'm offending you. We don't drink from the same well. We were not raised by the same person, so we're never going to always have the same opinion of everything. We will differ. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you will find that in a work environment, people are, the anxiety levels are already high, and then shows up Nambitha saying, I'll wait for you to clean the glass. And it's like, why? Why do you do that? Yeah. Another example is I see cables on the floor here. Now, fortunately, I don't have to go that side. Okay. But if, as my character, I had to go that side and there are cables here, first thing I'm going to do as Nambitha is to look on the floor to make sure that I jump the cables properly. Why does Mawande look down now? Why is Mawande looking down? Because Nambitha learned on the way to when Mawande is going to look down and jump. Guys, could you remove these cables, please? You're interrupting Mawande's life. They don't understand that this person that I'm bringing in is being interrupted by their actions and no, we'll do it later. We'll remove the cables later. No. Until you're done doing your job, I cannot do mine. So what I would do is I would stand and wait, and the director says, can we do the scene, please? Yes, sir, absolutely. As soon as they finish doing their part. Thanks, I'll wait. There was a time when I used to use a different tone when, communicating that. Now I don't, I just wait.
What was that tone like? If you don't mind sharing.
I would have more words to say.
Okay.
Let me just say it like that. I would have more words to say. And I would be like, why is it that you expect me? Do you know that? And I realized that the person who's giving me a dirty glass is not interested in why I want a clean glass. They're interested in being offended by me wanting a clean glass. Soon as I picked up on that, I stopped arguing it. I will not argue. I will state my position and step back and wait for you to deal with it. So as a result, if I'm like the third scene of the day and the cables everywhere, and I'd walk in and I would go to the floor manager and I said, there are cables on the way. Let me know, please, when they're done. I'll be waiting over there. Can we come and rehearse? Sorry, sir, there's still cables in my way. Please let me know when they're done and I'll come and rehearse. And I'll sit back. Come on, Nambitha, we're in a hurry. I know. As soon as they're done, I will make sure that I move quickly. But let me know when they're done doing their job. I'm not arguing with anybody. Before, I would argue with them. How do you expect me to work when, I would confront the situation. Now I just let it happen.
Let it go.
I let it go. My son is 27 years old. I don't need to prepare what world for him. I'm just living my life right now. And I know he's got the vocabulary to not do or make the mistakes that I made because I've taught him that. And I know that he's not going to come and shout about the cables. He's just going to stand back and say, and use the tone that I'm now using. So as a result, he now picks up from where I left off and shoots above.
I saw that. It was a podcast that you did where you echoed a similar sentiment. Yes.
Yeah. It's who we are in my family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
Ooh, questions. All right.
Having built such an immeasurable career and reputation, we touched on it, so I'd just like you to echo. What is your response to those who have tried to taint your name? Yeah. They can try. Succeed is a different word.
And they do try.
Yes.
Hey, they do try. I am so blessed. I am so incredibly blessed with amazing family and amazing friends, people that are around me. I'm really, really blessed.
Yes.
And every day I'm like, remember when I was to come here, I didn't know if I would have a vehicle or not. Since I injured my back last year, my friend Sandra, because she works in one place all day, will pick from her early morning job, pick me up to take her to work, and then I keep the car so that I can do errands because I cannot walk around much. So she would do that for me. Who does that? Every day, come, here's, take my car. So that, and some days I'll just stay at home. Just drive her to work and come back and stay at home until she says, okay, come pick me up now, and I go and pick her up.
Friends who become like family.
I've got an incredible support system. It also makes it easier to not fight for things because I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. I don't need to. I got this.
Yeah. I got me.
And I'm got as well.
Yeah. Where's the game?
Oh, Lord,
Yes,
the game.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
My favorite accent to do is blank.
South African. I had to learn it.
Yeah. Was it difficult?
It was.
Really?
It was. I remember doing a voiceover and I was hired by this company and they loved me so much. They loved working with me so much that they kept calling me back. But then I lost this one job. And that's because I couldn't say the product name. Grandpa.
How?
I could not say grandpa the way South Africans say it.
You say grandpa.
It's grandpa.
Yeah.
So they would be like,
No.
so now when I say okay. Then you can hear me going,
Grand.
and then so, okay, it's enhance. I'm like, okay.
Not enhance. Okay.
Okay, I got it. I got it. This is the way that you can enhance. Sorry, let's do that again. Enhance. And they can hear me in the mic going, enhance. Ha, ha.
Yeah.
And you can hear me as I'm reading it coming up to it. Enhance.
And how long did it take you to develop a South African accent?
Long time. After a while, I said, you know what, I'm done trying.
Yeah.
I'm done trying. If you like my voice, you'll have my voice. If you don't
If
like
not,
it, that's your
not.
problem. I'm done.
No, but on Generations, I actually, the way you, not only English, but also the way you spoke isiXhosa, I was so inspired in your language versatility.
That's a must.
Yeah.
It's a must. NdingumXhosa. Why would I not? I lived in exile for many, many years, but I never stopped being who I am. Besides, it was fun speaking isiXhosa amongst people who don't know it, so we can say
Yes. Say a few things they are not supposed to hear. Yeah.
And I learned Sesotho in Lesotho, so I had actually
Wow.
those.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
I did my best to I manage at least to retain some semblance of my South Africanism.
Heritage, yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Blank
Blank.
is something I should have known early on in my life, but I only recently learned it. Again, I can tell you mine.
Tell me yours.
Now, I think it was 2 years ago now. So I like to spoil myself with treats like food and stuff. So this one time I ordered calamari and wings. And I was on a call with my friend Almay, and we're talking. She's like, "Oh, are you having calamari?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Oh, is there any ink?" I'm like, "Why would there be ink on here?" She's like, "Because the octopus, Kopan." And I was like, "It's calamari, octopus." She's like, "How did you not know this?" And I was like,
What's the ink?
yeah, because octopi, provide ink. Yeah, that I knew.
If you can still go back to that person, tell them. That's what I said.
Yeah,
That's what I said. Tell them I said that.
yeah. What's yours now?
Okay, so I was on the set. This wasn't recent. I was on the set of The Lab. It was on SABC3.
Yes.
And the catering people couldn't cater for me my breakfast to accommodate my
Your diet at the time.
my allergies.
Okay.
I have allergies. I really can, anything I can eat, I will eat. But anything that I'm allergic to is going to cost the production time and money. So let's not put anything with wheat in my food. Let's not put pineapple in my food. I'm going to swell up at a couple of sizes, and then you can't shoot on me. And I remember they were like, it took them a while. So I would just literally carry a bag of biltong. I always had biltong in my pockets and on my set in the drawers. I'd hide biltong there, and I drink Red Bull. I make sure that I have an energy drink. And at some point, then they decided, and I lost a lot of weight, hey, because I wasn't eating. They were not catering for me. And I remember they discovered on this one set a restaurant. So they would make me spinach and maybe a lamb sausage, and I'll have that for breakfast. And I love it. It was good. And then for lunch, at some point, they brought me gnocchi. And they said it was potatoes. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so great. But then after lunch, I would be sick. And I didn't know what it was. And I would be like, okay, guys, was there something? And I didn't know. And I think after I finished shooting, discovered that there's wheat in it's not completely wheat, but there's enough wheat in there that I was actually reacting. And when I've ingested wheat, I pass out. So I was like sluggish, but because I'm drinking Red Bull the whole time, so it's an up and a down at the same time. So that's why I never completely. But at lunch or after lunch, between scenes, I would like fall asleep. And they couldn't wake me up for a while and be like, no, maybe it's my blood pressure. I don't know. I didn't know until I discovered gnocchi has wheat. But now they then apparently were testing me that I'm actually allergic to it. Oh, well, there she is eating gnocchi and it's got wheat and nothing's wrong with her. So we're not going to bother catering for her anymore. I'm like, do you stand there instead of doing your job, just wait around for a moment, like umnyenyevana of a gap to suck it back to me? You really need to get a life, because I don't spend that much time thinking of you.
And that's the unfortunate truth.
Yeah. So they got me quite ill, and when we finished shooting, I remember I was so sick because as soon as I stopped taking the Red Bull, I was a mess. I was a mess. I remember going to my doctor and I said, I don't know what happened. And he was putting me on boosters, and then let's check your blood pressure again, because I got low blood pressure. So as soon as I finished shooting there, I had to get myself sorted. And it took a while. But they wrote in a production report that they're not going to bother with me anymore because apparently I'm just making it up.
Wow.
I didn't work with them again.
Clearly. Okay. Is there another one? Oh, the last one.
All right.
My proudest moment in life was blank.
I have a few, but my most recent one is my son got nominated for an Lady.
Oh. Ooh. Which category, might I ask?
He's a sound designer.
Okay.
He makes music for film and television and theater, and it was a play from the Market Theatre. He got nominated for Soundscape, and I think that was the only nomination in that play.
Yeah.
In the entire play, where he was the only one nominated. I think that's, and he came to me on the day that he's going to the awards, and he says, I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" He goes, "Well, I'm going to these awards, you know." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Why are you going to the awards?" "Yeah, well, apparently I got nominated." I have never been nominated for an Lady. I've been doing this for years before you were born. I have never. I'm like, the first Lady nominee in our family. Do you know who
What
you
this
are?
means, yes.
I was so proud. I was like, oh no, that just hit me.
You're
hard.
a proud mom.
I am.
You're a proud mom.
He astonishes me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said there were many others, or was that the only one that you wanted to talk about?
Oh no, there
Let
are
me
quite
ask
a few.
you to your career.
But no, that doesn't apply to things that I've done. That question doesn't really apply to it. It applies to, I raised this man who is capable of this, and look at this one. He used to be this size. Now look at him.
He's a
you know.
grown man now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous questions.
Miscellaneous questions.
What stories would you like to see being told either on our screens or on our stages, which you haven't seen for a very long time or haven't seen at all?
I can't tell you because I'm writing them.
Okay, that's an exclusive. When the time is right, we'll know what they are.
No,
Yes.
I think though, one of the things that would be really, when they do tell our stories, that a lot of productions glaze over the important nuances of the different cultures. And they say, which it doesn't matter. But it matters to the people you represent as an actor and as a production.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if I'm representing this Xhosa person, what a coincidence. If I'm representing this Xhosa person and the clan name is incorrect, does not match the last name, then I have to do something about it. But most production companies, they don't want to hear that. I still got you're telling me that the writers don't know what they're doing. I'm like, no, I'm just assuming that maybe it got missed, and I'd like you to just let them know, rectify it. That's one of the things that would get me into trouble. I do a lot of research when I'm doing my work. If you're telling me, for example, if you go with Ashes to Ashes, the Namane family, of course, they had a Xhosa mother, but when Namane, I need to understand that last name, what kind of clan names does it come with? So when I call Tau, so, you know, Murabedi, I need to understand them so that when I talk to my children as a Xhosa woman, when we talk to our kids, we use clan names.
Yes.
So now here's this Xhosa woman talking to her Sotho children, and I'm still being Xhosa, but raising,
Sotho.
abantwana babeSotho, and so I'm gonna use my way of communicating with the offspring and do it in the Sotho way. But the writer is not cognizant of how much research that I'm doing just to support the story that they've written. And when the mutual respect is in place, then there's no conflict, unless they don't think I know what I'm doing. And then when I bring it up and I say, listen, Mpumlwana cannot be Khadebe. And it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Actually, it does. Especially if you name somebody Khadebe, and then you really need to follow, the clan. So those are some of the things that would get me into trouble. But now I just do it quietly, go to the director quietly and say, listen, this is what's going on. Do you mind if we fix this? I encountered that recently last year. And when I raised my voice, they argued with me and I said, Nambitha, well, last it's the end. I didn't say tool, I didn't say be quiet. I said, be at peace about it. And I told. And the next day when I showed up and the director said, you know what? Do what you think is best. I said, thank you, I'll do that.
Okay. What's your take on how social media now plays a great part in how actors are cast for projects?
I hate it. I hate it. However, as a casting director, I do know the value of finding the right talent and also finding the exposure.
Okay.
Yes, because basically our advertising is not on television. It's on social media. And if the person that you have cast has absolutely no social media exposure, it's going to cost the production, advertising revenue. So I need to balance it out. So as a casting director, I will hire Ukopano and check, if Ukopano is the best person for the job, then I want to make sure that your social media is up to par. Do you understand? So if there are maybe 2 people that are my last choice as a final, after I've weeded out for talent, then it's the 2 of you who are head to head and you're both talented, but Kopano does not have social media. I might be more inclined to choose the other person. But it's not because, but I've gone through the process of finding the talent. Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
It's not a lack of talent, just...
It's not, yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. But I would urge you, Kopano, when you get to that stage after you've done 2 callbacks, let it go. Don't go back and say, who did they hire? Why do they think she's better than me? And leave it alone. Yeah. Nothing to do with you.
Yeah. After you've gone in,
when you come out, leave it at the door and walk away.
Yeah. And if it's meant for you, it'll call you back. Yes. Is there an emerging actor who you've seen recently who's grasped your attention? If yes, what is it about them that did that? Young actors specifically. Anyone. If there isn't, it's fine.
I worked with Usenzo Khadebe on Magenta Call. And before that, I worked with him on something else. I really enjoy young actors. Yeah. I enjoy working with them. Nyaleng was also quite great. She was on Ashes to Ashes. Enjoyed working with him. Senzo comes to mind right now because when he takes a new role, he and I will have a conversation about how to approach it. And I love the fact that he's constantly trying to learn. And that's important. For an actor, you need to never stop learning. You can't. You just can't afford it. You can't get to a point where, okay, I know everything now. That's impossible. So you need to challenge yourself to constantly be learning. I have encountered young actors that were not interested in learning, not interested in being swayed from what they think. They believe they know everything that there is to know now. And I swiftly walk away from such people, young or old. It's not my place to raise you.
It's done. What do you believe is the most challenging aspect of being a South African actor right now? And this will lead us into SAGA and everything?
The industry is not regulated, and it makes it really, really difficult to assert yourself and to fight for what you deserve as far as the contract is concerned. Now, a lot of people think that it's about money. Yes, money is good. I remember when we left Generations, we were paid quite nicely. That wasn't our problem. What our problem was sustainability, was the respect, was all those other things that you don't see that are behind the scenes. And also it was a time when they said they're now offering us 3-year contracts. What that does for me, if I have a 3-year contract, is that I can buy a car. I can plan and buy a house. But if I'm on a 1-year contract and it may or may not end after a year, what bank is going to trust me? We need the industry to be regulated. We need insurance that is tailored for our profession.
Yes.
We need, oh my goodness me, residuals. We need to be paid residuals. Funny enough, the SABC contract does stipulate that you get a percentage of the earnings. How many people actually see those, whatever, 2%? It can accumulate to a lot. So there is a company that we at SAGA worked towards putting together, and SASPRO will now help you to fight for that money and go and collect it.
Now we're going to talk about SAGA.
All right.
Could you please describe
Nah.
the state?
Nah.
No.
I know, ma'am. I'm teasing. Ask your question.
Oh. Could you please describe the state of our industry in reference to what SAGA is attempting to rectify? So if you've introduced it now, let's expand.
We have the unfortunate misfortune experience of having a minister of arts, a minister for our industry, having no knowledge of our sector, no interest in our sector, and no respect for our sector. I'm just a face on television, and I should be happy that I'm on television. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, the bank does not
See television.
The bank does not want your exposure for your bond, and City of Joburg does not want your exposure for your lights and water. So I need money. I need what it is that is going to help me to move my life forward. So at SAGA, we have been working very, very hard at the bills that are now actually, I'm hesitating because as we speak now, that we've just had a nod from the provincial committee. So the NCOP the portfolio committee has said, okay, fine, now take it to Parliament. We're happy with the bill as it is. That is the Performance Protection Amendment Bill and the Copyright Amendment Bill. Can you imagine the Copyright Amendment Bill that is being delayed for stupid reasons? Stipulates that if right now, as the bill is written, if this is our textbook and you've got the textbook and I don't, and you take a picture of the textbook and give it to me so that I can have access to the information here, you just broke the law. You just broke the copyright law as it stands right now. People with a vision impairment need this translated to Braille. That was against the law. We need these bills signed.
Yes.
We need them signed. We need them signed. It's fundamental things that affect us on our day-to-day basis, but because they don't affect the person who goes, to work 9 to 5, they don't see the importance of it. The people that do see the importance of it are the ones that are rallying and lobbying to have these bills not pass. Yeah. They did that in 2018, and they're doing it now. So if, for example, your agent or your producer, you know that they're looking after their own interest, but when you start looking after your own interest, you are a problem. You're a diva. You're throwing tantrums. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm just asking for the same rights that you have.
Yeah.
Why is that a problem?
The rights I deserve. Yeah.
Yes.
What conflicts can arise when negotiating to do a project that new actors may not know about?
This is a business.
Yes.
Take it like a business. If you take your career seriously and you run it like a business, you will be taken seriously. Chances are, if there are young people out there who don't know what's in their contract, and then they complain that why are they doing this, why are they doing that? Yeah, because I'm new, they're treating me like this. No, it's written in your contract that this is what's going to happen on set. You didn't read it now, and you signed it. Now you're complaining about something that you actually agreed to do. The eagerness to please needs to be tampered down a little bit, because young people are getting hurt on set when they start doing stunts without a stunt coordinator. Yes. Falling down the stairs is a stunt. Don't try to prove your loyalty to the production by throwing yourself down those stairs without a stunt person who has taught you how to fall. It's going to cost you on your next job. They would put, for example, makeup on me that does not fit my skin, so they put piles and piles and piles of makeup. And I said, no, you scrape that thing off and go and buy me the right color, because on the next job, my face will be a mess, because I was trying to please them. It's like, no, I'm fine, it's okay. Yeah. And the next job I cannot do because I've got acne on my face all of a sudden. Do not compromise yourself more than you can afford to live with. I don't know if I said that correctly, but a lot of the young people want to give away more than they can afford to do without. Yeah. And you don't want to do that. Never give away more than you can afford to do without. Just don't do it. Because the next job is going to need you to be able to run across the field. But you got hurt falling down the stairs on your previous job. Now you cannot run across the field. How many jobs are now no longer available to you because you were clever in that previous job? Yeah. Stand up for yourself. If you cannot, pick up the phone, go around the corner, go to the loo, call your agent and say, Kopano, there is no stunt person on the set and they're telling me to fall down the stairs. Please help me out. Yeah. Then you put the phone down and you go and you smile on set, and they're gonna get a call from you and saying, listen, don't make Kopano, don't make Nambitha do that sin, please, because your advocate has spoken on your behalf. The business of the business has no business on a set. Business of the business is discussed outside of the set. This is holy ground. Yeah. We don't discuss business here. We discuss business outside of this environment. And that's one of the things that they need to learn. Also, respect the crew. Respect the crew. There is a young, he's young. I remember we were shooting the lab, and I know that I had a lot of work to do, and so my mind was I don't even know if I greeted everybody the way that I normally do. I normally go to the crew and greet everybody with hugs, and I think I may not even have done that. I mean, like the next 3 scenes, and they're continuous, so I have to mark a lot of things so that continuity is in place. And I remember walking out of Pearl's office and going into Jaws' office. And they're tracking, when they're tracking is they put rails on the ground, and the camera is sitting on there, and somebody's pushing that. Yeah. Yes, and the camera is supposed to walk with me. I literally got up. This is the rehearsal. Did the thing, got up, walked, got there, and then did that, and then walked back. And I got back to Pearl's office, and I went, he kept up with me. The person who was pushing the dolly kept up. He knows me so well that he knows my stride. He could read how I feel and where my character is at, and he read my stride. And The camera was on me the whole time like it was supposed to be. There was no gingle. Wait, let's try that again. It was one rehearsal, one take. And that comes from me being cognizant and consciously going out of my way to show them respect because their job is critically important. It could have been 10 takes.
But because of the relationship.
Because of the
that you
relationship.
built and they built with you.
If I can teach the young person anything, is respect the crew. Don't show up on the makeup chair and be on the phone talking, because then the makeup artist cannot do her job. You're interfering with her job. So now she cannot do her job because you're not availing the canvas. She can't paint.
Don't come to set late.
Don't show up late. My son has an expression: if you're on time, you're already late.
Yeah, on time is late. On time is late. No, that one I know very well.
If you're on time, you're already late. Yeah. So yes, please don't be late. Yes. It's disrespectful, and we don't need that on set. We don't need that on set. Do not fight your own battles on set.
Okay.
Get an agent. Pay people to be angry on your behalf. Pay people to be angry on you. That I learned from Angelina Jolie. Can you believe it? No, pay people to fight your battles, and you just walk in and smile, and they love you so much. That agent of yours is mean, and you go, wow, what happened?
Yeah.
Nah, your agent is telling them exactly what you think, what you told her to say.
What if you don't have an agent though?
Why don't you have an agent?
Speaking to my experience, it's been, we're not really looking for someone of your demographic right now, so try and apply in the next few years. Or you aren't the right look, or we're a very small agency. So, but then they'll be like, get some more experience and then come back. But like, how will I
go and do an indie? Go and do more theater. Go and ask your friends from AFDA. Hey, listen, do you guys have a play, a show that you get, short film that you're doing? I need to put together a show reel. Go to AFDA and volunteer yourself. In every career, when you're starting out and you need experience, you volunteer. You go for learnerships, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, go.
Yeah.
This is a career. This is, once you've done studying, chances are there's an agent out there who's looking for new graduates.
Yes.
There are enough agents. Go look at the PMA website.
Yes.
There are enough. There is no excuse to not have representation. There absolutely isn't. And some people will then, because I have an agent, I don't need to know what's in that contract. Oh, hell no.
You have to.
And your agent does not sign for you. I have my agent, love Carlin. She's amazing. She's got my signature on her computer, but she will check with me
First.
Are you happy with this? Can we sign it now? Yes, we can sign it. Do you want me to sign it, or are you able to sign where you are? No, Carl, I'm far away from my computer. Please sign on my behalf.
Yeah.
But first, she's going to send it to me.
So that you have a look.
I have a look, I can sign, and she'll say, listen, by the time she shows it to me, she's already ticked things that should not be on that contract.
Yeah.
What about this? What about that? No, she's fixed all of that. By the time it shows up in front of me, she's been busy negotiating on my behalf. Yes. Nambitha has food allergies. Please do not put pork on her plate. She will get sick. Please do not put gluten on. Don't put pineapple on a fruit basket. She will get sick. You're going to lose time. You're going to lose money. Don't do it.
And you're risking her life.
And you're risking her life.
Yes. Alrighty. Where was I? Yes. Could you, because I saw the video on your Instagram, but so could you reiterate and further elaborate on the threat which AI has on our industry?
You
and
mean
what needs
artist intelligence?
Yeah.
We need AI to combat AI.
Yes.
Look, they now have the ability, and I use they figuratively, of course, they now have the ability to record your likeness and then use it for themselves forever.
they just need to record you once.
And then that's it.
I saw.
You make sure that is not in your contract. That if that shows up in your contract, you amend it immediately. You need to read that contract because they're slipping it in right now, and it's going to cost you. It will cost you.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
I was watching the Roundtable Talks the other day, and then Mark Ruffalo said that Disney has so much of his physicalities that he could live on screen for the next 100 years, even after.
And he does not get paid for it.
Yeah.
So we're fighting that. So SAGA is again at the forefront of battling that little situation so that we can make it safer and easier for artists and to make money, to get paid for what we do.
Yeah.
Yes. And they found a shortcut to not paying you. And it's like, no. There are some contracts that say, do you mind if we keep your likeness? And they will say in perpetuity for whatever comes up after. And we're like, no. No.
If you want me, get me the next time.
Get me the next time.
Yes.
Pay me for each time
that you want me on your set.
Yeah.
You have personal experience of this industry's treatment when it comes to money and the fight for money through the work that you do in your career and SAGA. What role can SAGA play in addressing this matter? Because yes, when you're auditioning for a role, it's you and your agent and production. But how can SAGA get involved in making sure that we get to a point in time where actors are really paid what they're worth?
That's part of us trying to regulate the industry.
Yes.
Because then when the industry is regulated, there's a minimum wage. There's a minimum. Right now, there's no minimum wage and we're also not recognized by the Department of Employment and Labor. Sectorial determination, how we govern ourselves within the industry, that's all part of being regulated. That's critically important. How much you're getting paid. I mean, right now, the industry, they did something that is so offensive and so ridiculously hateful, is that when we came back from the lockdown, people were saying, well, we don't have much of a budget, and now your call fee has gone back 10 years. No. Miss me with that.
Yeah.
So SAGA has been, again, trying to make sure that we have if you've got a minimum wage and we've got a standard that says this many years experience, this is the minimum wage. This many years experience, this is we also have a professional designation that we've now acquired. You can actually, as an actor, apply through SAGA for professional designation. That means you are not a fly-by-night. You need to be recognized as a leader in the industry. Every industry does this, but ours. So that's what we're busy with.
Yeah.
That's what we're busy with.
Alrighty. This one? Okay, I'll leave this one for last. What's the main goal that SAGA strives towards that resonates with you personally? That what made you join SAGA, join the effort, let me say.
So I was active in, working in the work that SAGA does before I actually became active, an EXCO member at SAGA. And I was invited to come and be an EXCO member, I think because they also recognized work that I was doing. When we needed to go make presentations to Parliament, I was there with them, not as part of their team, but I was there making a representation, and they were there as well. And we spent a lot of time, talking about the synergies. Like we're basically doing the same thing. I'm like, no, it's cool because then there are voices from different spaces. But as time went, we realized that it's actually better if we amalgamate, and it's worked really, really well. So there were things that I was fighting for, little things, man. When I was working on Sea the Land, which you mentioned, they did not have makeup for Black people then. And so they were putting on this makeup on me and trying to make it dark or something, and I was like, no, And they said, well, we don't know where to find makeup for your skin tone, so we'll just mix until. I'm like, no, you're ruining my skin. So I went and Iman product was new in the country, and I asked them for sponsorship for two of the people of color that were on set, including myself, of course. And they came to the party and they spoke. And fortunately, Esther is such a beautiful soul. She was the head of makeup at Sievendelan. She's such a beautiful soul that she welcomed the change. But in that process, when I was trying to fight for this, other actors were like, no, I'm fine. It's okay. I don't. And as a result, I was pushed to the front like I'm just being a problem. And I said, fine, I'll be the problem.
I'll be the bad guy.
And I went and got the makeup and I taught her how we use makeup, the contouring, all of that. And this is what Black people do this is what we do as Black people on our faces. Do you mind learning it, please? And she goes, no, I don't have a problem with that. She learned where to find crayoline for us, how to match our skin tone. She went and did that, how to do highlighting. She learned all of that. She's an amazing, she already was an amazing makeup artist. Now she can do everybody. Yeah. So that took a while. So I, again, was, the Joan of Arc and having stones thrown at me. And some of those stones, some of those scars are still visible. But I needed to do that. Yes. But with SAGA, as you're asking, we actually intervene on some of these things so that you don't end up being the Joan of Arc. You don't end up being the target. Yes. We come in on you. I'm sure they're not going to come in about makeup. Yeah. But we've got a legal team that is standing by. Should anything happen to you, as far as your contract is concerned, as far as legalities on set, we're standing by.
And can you echo, why is it important for young actors like me and many others out there starting their careers to join the effort of SAGA?
If you take yourself seriously as an actor, and this is a career that you are going to build, you join SAGA. If you consider yourself a professional actor and you're not a member of SAGA, I'm not going to call you a professional actor because you're not part of this one voice, this unified voice that stands for people in your industry, this unified voice that has been fighting for you since 2013, this unified voice of professionals in your industry that is putting out workshops on how to improve your craft. You're not taking yourself seriously. If you're not a member of SAGA, you're not a professional actor.
Can you tell the class, how can one join SAGA? Because people think it's so difficult. No, but it's not.
It is so difficult. So if you go to saguildofactors.co.za and you click membership, you're going to find my face there saying, yay, come and join us. Yeah. And you fill in the form and the EXCO team is going, and you must put in your experience. Even if you were saying you did a school play here and you did a friend's production there, you don't have professional experience yet, but I can see that you're taking yourself seriously. Yeah. And you're going out there and upskilling yourself. You're taking lessons on firearms, you're taking martial arts, you're taking whatever, swimming lessons, little things that will feed into your ability to represent your character. Yeah.
And all young actors, agent or not agent,
join SAGA. Join SAGA. And then find an agent.
Yes. The last one for the SAGA section is...
Last one ever. We need to go.
If South Africa's industry was to demonstrate the same protests which we saw in the US last year, how would you imagine that would unfold in our country?
We are not allowed to do that by law. Actors, by law, are not allowed to unionize. By law. Because we don't fall under the Department of Employment and Labor, we fall under the contract law. So if you don't show up for work, they'll hire somebody else. You are in breach of your contract. So we actually cannot do that. We, 16 of us on Generations, and in 2014, stood up and we downed tools because we're in the middle of negotiations. And they said, no, you can't do that. And they fired all of us because we withheld performance. it's still illegal. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people in the industry and those who are tasked with looking after us in the Department of Arts and Culture who don't know that. They keep saying, well, why don't you guys form a union? Then we can listen to one person. And we're like, by law, by the constitution that you are supposed to be serving and knowing full well, we cannot. We don't have collective bargaining. We had a situation that SAGA is busy fighting right now where they're saying that we're colluding by having standard rates. So they took us to court. So SAGA right now is in litigation to make sure that we are exempt from that. So because if we have a standard rate for like a basic rate for voiceover artists, for voiceover sessions, they said that is collusion. Because now if Pick and Pay and ShopRite and Checkers all charge the bread and the same, then the competition law is being compromised. So that's where they're taking us now. So we actually are fighting for you on so many different levels.
That we don't even know about.
It's fine if you don't know about it. Just join SAGA, pay your $160 a month. It's literally less than your drinks with your friends at lunch. But it's going to protect you. A lot of people will come to me and say, hey, Nambitha, can you help me with this issue? And I'm like, okay, absolutely. Are you a SAGA member? And they said, no, not yet. I'm like, I can't help you. You chose to go to, the roof and have drinks on Friday instead of paying that money to SAGA. And now you need help and you can't get it. I'll advise you, but I can't stand up for you.
We're wrapping up. We're done. This is the last question.
Yes, sir.
Well, two really. But right now, are you the actress you always dreamed of being?
I hate to do this to you, but at the beginning of our conversation, I said, I never thought this was going to be a career. So I never expected what kind of actress I'm going to be or actor. I just did what I do. And went and learned more how to do what I do. And at every opportunity, I would make sure that I'm learning how to do what I do. So I couldn't say I'm the person that I wanted to be. As a human being, yes. But as an actor, I couldn't tell you.
And then the last question.
Yes, sir.
A diva's legacy. When it's all said and done, what would you want your life and career to be remembered as?
My son is my message to the future. His accomplishments, his being is testimony to how much I couldn't say accomplished really, but I've worked hard to make sure that I am raising the kind of men that I would want as my husband. And he's amazing. He's brilliant, actually. He stands for what he stands for. He will not fight you for your opinion. He will educate you. And if you resist the educating or the education, that's your issue. And that's who we are in my family. We strive to be better than we were yesterday. My diva legacy is itade. Love yourself so selfishly that anybody who wants to be anywhere near you needs to bring more than what you do for yourself. Itade. That being the quality of wine you drink. That being the people will say, why do you spend so much on lingerie? And I'm like, why not? It's the closest garment to my body. I need to feel loved. I need to feel loved by myself. And then whoever else shows up will pick up from where I left off. So you're not going to find a damsel in distress when you come to me. You're not going to... I definitely have wounds, but they're not bleeding. They're not bleeding. I make it a point to not come and bleed over your wounds. you are having problems and I've got a problem and I'm coming to zela you with my blood, If I'm wounded, I got no place trying to comfort you. So if I've got nothing, people keep saying, man, I want to help people. You're bleeding all over them. What are you doing? Go and heal yourself first. Heal yourself. Fight for yourself first. So that when you're standing on that pedestal, I'm looking at that pedestal and then I can aspire to it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
We done did it.
Yeah, we done did it.
We done did it.
I cannot express how much this means to me. I really can't, but you are one of the actors and actresses.
No, actors.
Actors.
If you can find a doctress, then you can. Then
Yes.
I will abide by actress.
You've inspired me more than I could imagine. I never thought in a million years that I would be meeting you, let alone interacting with you on this platform.
Thank you.
Continue to do the work that you do, because you not only inspire me, but many others out there. I cannot tell you how many times I frequent on YouTube and watch old episodes of Generations just to see Mawande Memela.
Oh my word!
No, really, and the reason for this is because you remind me of my own mom so much, because my mom also used to have locks. She doesn't have them anymore, but I remember there was a time where she would coordinate her wardrobe in accordance to Mawande. Hairstyles, everything. And
oh, my
so much.
stylist Uhlele will be so happy to hear that, because Uhlele has been my stylist now for 20 years, maybe more. Or like her children were born after she and I met, and my other close friend Sandra, same thing, who does my nails, like 20-year plus relationship, and these people have been in my life that whole time. And so your mom is copying Hlele's work.
Yes.
And every time we're like, Hlele, what have we never done?
Just to brainstorm.
Just to,
shock the world.
Yes. Yeah. And if she saw me like this, she would kill me.
But in closing, I
Yes.
hope one day I'd really love to play your child on
Bring it on. From
On
your
stage.
lips to God's ears.
Let It Manifest.
Let it be.
It'll happen.
Let
Thank
it
you
be.
so much. Please enjoy your day.
Thank you.
You've
my
definitely
evening.
made mine, yes. To everyone who's watched or listened to this episode, thank you so very much. Do like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend or two, because it's amazing for you, and come back when we have another one. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Nambitha Mpumlwana, and I've just finished my interview with Kopano on Creative Connect. Do like, comment, and subscribe, and of course, come back for more. It's an amazing space here.